beloved. There are moments in life when pain whispers louder than hope, when sickness tries to silence faith, and when the weight of suffering feels heavier than the strength within us. In those moments, many ask, is there truly a way to be healed? Can my body, my heart, my soul ever be made whole again? The answer, dear friend, is a resounding yes. Healing is not just a possibility. It is a divine reality, a gift that has already been made available to you. You were never created to live in bondage, to sickness, fear, or despair. You were designed to walk in wholeness, peace, and strength. Healing is not distant. It is not something reserved for a chosen few. Healing is near. It is within your reach, waiting for you to believe, to receive, and to walk in it. Let me tell you today, healing is not just about your body. It touches your mind, your spirit, your emotions. It restores brokenness, renews hope, and reignites faith. If you are hurting, you are not forgotten. If you are weary, you are not abandoned. Healing is your inheritance, and it is time to claim it with unshakable faith. Well, beloved, when we talk about healing, many imagine it as something far away, something they must strive endlessly to earn. They think it requires endless effort, long waiting, or being worthy enough before they can receive it. But I tell you today, healing is not something you must fight to purchase with your tears or your pain. It is not something you must beg for as if God is reluctant to give it. No, healing has already been paid for in full. The price was settled long ago through a sacrifice so powerful that no sickness, no disease, no pain can stand against it. Just as a bill that is marked paid in full no longer requires another coin, another effort, another payment, so too your healing requires no additional price. The cross was the receipt stamped with love, declaring forever that healing belongs to you. When you understand this truth, your prayers shift from begging to receiving, your heart shifts from fear to faith, and your body begins to respond to the power of divine restoration that has already been provided. Healing is not a promise for tomorrow. It is a gift secured yesterday, available now. Imagine a child in a hospital bed, weak from illness, with parents standing beside him, their hearts heavy with fear. The doctors give little hope, yet one nurse gently whispers, "Don't give up." Sometimes miracles come in unexpected ways. One evening, while his mother prayed softly by his bedside, that child suddenly began to breathe easier, his strength slowly returning. Days later, doctors were amazed at the recovery they could not explain. But the truth is, it was not medicine alone that touched him. It was the unseen hand of a healing already purchased. Just like that child, you may feel powerless, your strength drained, and your hope slipping. Yet remember, your healing was paid for before you ever faced the sickness. Just as his mother did not pay for the gift of her son's recovery, neither do you need to pay for your healing. By the third day, it is the finished work of a sacrifice greater than any disease, and it is waiting for you to believe and receive. Too often we carry sickness in our bodies and torment in our minds as if we must endure it, as if it is somehow our portion. But would a loving father allow his child to carry a burden that he has already lifted? If the price has been paid, why continue to live as though the debt remains? Healing is your portion, not because of who you are, but because of the price that was paid on your behalf. This means no sickness has the final say over your life. The blood that was shed carried not only forgiveness for your soul, but restoration for your body. Every stripe, every wound, every drop was the currency of your freedom. If you could see healing as already deposited in your account, you would stop begging for it and start withdrawing it with faith. The moment you declare, "It is mine," heaven moves, and your body begins to align with the reality of that payment. Think of a man struggling with years of back pain. Doctors told him it was permanent, a condition he would carry for life. He accepted it for a while, living each day with limitation, bound by pain. But one evening, as he read the words of promise, something awakened in him. He realized he was living as though the payment for his healing had not been made. He said aloud, "If it has already been paid for, then I don't have to carry it anymore. That night he stood up, slowly at first, then straighter, then stronger. Day by day the pain faded until he was free. His healing didn't come because he earned it. It came because he finally believed the payment was enough. This is the truth for you too. Your healing has nothing to do with deserving. It has everything to do with receiving what was already secured for you long ago. Beloved, healing is already paid for. You are not fighting for something uncertain. You are standing on a settled victory. You are not trying to persuade God to do what He has already done. You are simply stepping into what has been waiting for you all along. Just as a gift cannot be called a gift if you must pay for it, healing ceases to be grace if you believe you must earn it. Let your heart be at rest today. Your sickness has been carried. Your pain has been exchanged. Your healing has been sealed. No matter how long the struggle, no matter how dark the diagnosis, the price remains paid, untouched and complete. Lift your eyes above the pain and declare, "It is finished. Healing belongs to me." When you walk in this truth, chains of fear fall, hope rises again, and your body becomes a living testimony of love that paid a price too high to ever leave you broken. Healing is not limited to the surface of your skin or the strength of your bones. It is a gift designed to restore the deepest parts of who you are. Too many people believe healing is only about the physical body, yet so often the wounds that weigh the heaviest are not visible to the human eye. There are people walking around with whole bodies but broken spirits, smiling faces but shattered hearts, strong voices but silenced hope. True healing, the kind that flows from the heart of God, goes beyond treating symptoms. It touches every layer of your being. It restores peace where anxiety has stolen your rest, joy where grief has crushed your spirit, and faith where fear has taken root. You were created to live whole in body, soul, and spirit, and healing was provided for every part of you. If you only believe in physical restoration, you are receiving just a portion of the gift. But the fullness of healing reaches where no doctor's hand or medicine can go. It brings peace that surpasses understanding and joy that cannot be explained. Healing is for the entire person, because you are loved completely. I once heard of a woman who carried a hidden pain for many years. Though her body was strong, her heart was burdened with the weight of losing her child. Outwardly, she seemed fine, even successful, but inside her spirit felt empty. She would sit in silence at night, feeling broken in ways words could not describe. One evening, during a quiet moment of prayer, she felt a warmth wash over her. Not a physical heat, but a deep, soothing presence that seemed to wrap her in comfort. Tears flowed, not of despair this time, but of release. For the first time, her heart felt light, her mind felt free, and her soul felt renewed. The pain of loss did not erase the memory of her child, but the wound within was healed. This was healing beyond the physical, a healing that restored the very core of who she was. Her testimony reminds us that the wholeness we long for is not found in outward strength alone, but in the renewal of our hearts, minds, and spirit. Healing is for the whole person, and it brings life where brokenness once lived. So many people pray only for their bodies to be healed, forgetting that sickness can dwell in the mind and spirit as much as it can in the flesh. Anxiety, depression, fear, and shame are illnesses that cripple lives just as surely as disease does. You can look strong on the outside, yet still live as a prisoner to the unseen battles within. But the truth is, when healing is released, it flows into every corner of your being. It quiets the storms in your mind, replacing fear with confidence, and it mends the scars in your heart, restoring joy where pain once dwelt. Healing for the whole person means you don't have to live half-free, restored in body but changed in mind, or clear in mind but broken in spirit. You were designed to walk in harmony, where your body, soul, and spirit reflect the same wholeness. The gift of healing doesn't just mend bones. It brings balance, rest, and renewal in every area of your life. True healing is complete, leaving no part untouched by its power. There was once a man who lived many years battling depression, even though physically he was strong and healthy. To others he looked fine, but inside he felt as if life had no meaning. His days were heavy with darkness, and he often thought he would never be free. Then one day, as he listened to words of faith being spoken, he suddenly felt hope stir within him. It was an instant, but over time, as he opened his heart to receive healing, the weight lifted. He began to laugh again, something he hadn't done in years. His sleep returned, his mind became clear, and he discovered joy in the simple moments of life. His healing wasn't physical. It was emotional and spiritual, and it changed the way he lived forever. This is the beauty of wholeness. It doesn't just restore the body, it renews the inner man. Healing for the whole person transforms the way you see yourself, the way you see life, and the way you walk each day. It's a restoration that no pill, no surgery, no therapy alone can give. It is healing that touches the invisible wounds and makes you truly whole. Beloved, healing for the whole person is the fullness of restoration. It does not leave you halfway recovered or partially renewed. It restores completely. When the body is made well, but the heart remains broken, you are not walking in the fullness of healing. When the mind is clear, but the spirit is still burdened, you are still waiting for the complete gift. The promise of healing is for all of you, every part, every wound, every scar. You don't have to live with a divided wholeness. The price has been paid for you to live restored in body, renewed in mind, and refreshed in spirit. You were created for more than survival. You were created for wholeness. Healing brings balance where imbalance has ruled. It brings unity to the divided places of your life, and it allows you to walk in peace, joy, and strength together. Healing is not partial, it is total. And when you receive it, you become a living testimony that healing is for the whole person and nothing less. Faith is not silent. It has a voice, and that voice must be released if you are to walk in the healing that has been promised to you. Too often, people believe in their hearts but keep their lips sealed with fear or doubt. Yet healing is not activated by silent belief alone. It is ignited when faith begins to speak with boldness. Words carry power, and when your words align with the promises of healing, they release life into your body, your mind, and your spirit. It is not enough to think, I believe. You must declare, I am healed. Even when the pain screams, even when the symptoms remain, your faith must speak louder than your condition. The spoken word of faith is a weapon, breaking chains of sickness and tearing down walls of despair. When faith speaks, the atmosphere shifts, and your body begins to align with the truth you confess. Healing requires faith that does not whisper in doubt but declares with confidence, knowing the one who promised is faithful. There was once a young woman diagnosed with a severe illness. Doctors told her the chances of recovery were slim, and her family braced themselves for the worst. But she refused to let the diagnosis be the final word over her life. Every day, though weak and weary, she whispered, I am healed. My body is whole. My strength is returning. At first, her words seemed powerless, as though they changed nothing. But little by little, her energy returned, her body responded, and her health was restored. The doctors could not explain it, but she knew it was faith that spoke and would not be silenced. Her story reminds us that healing is not just in believing quietly within, but in declaring boldly without. The moment you speak, your faith rises, and your healing begins to manifest. Faith unspoken is faith unfinished, but when faith finds its voice, miracles follow. The reason faith must speak is that silence often becomes the breeding ground for doubt. When the pain lingers and the symptoms persist, silence allows fear to creep in and take root. But when you open your mouth and speak words of healing, you silence the voice of fear before it takes hold. Faith that speaks does not deny the reality of sickness, but declares the higher reality of healing. You may feel weak, but you say, I am strong. You may feel broken, but you declare, I am whole. These are not empty affirmations. They are declarations of faith rooted in eternal truth. Each word spoken in faith is a seed planted in the soil of your life, and in time it will produce the harvest of healing. Just as darkness cannot remain where light is spoken, sickness cannot remain where faith continues to declare wholeness. Speaking your faith creates an atmosphere of expectation, and expectation invites miracles. Healing requires a voice, and that voice must be yours. I recall the story of a man bedridden for months after an accident left him with limited mobility. He could hardly move, and his doctors told him he would never walk again. For days he lay silent, consumed by fear and hopelessness. But one morning he decided to change his posture. He began to declare, I will walk again. My legs are strong. Healing flows through me. Day after day he spoke these words, even when his body showed no change. Weeks later, strength began to return. What once seemed impossible became his reality. He rose step by step, until the day came when he walked without help. His healing was not instant, but it was certain because his faith found its voice. This story reveals the power of spoken faith. It is not about what you feel in the moment. It is about what you declare despite the moment. Healing comes when faith refuses to stay silent. Beloved, healing requires faith that speaks. You cannot remain quiet in the face of sickness, for silence gives sickness permission to stay. Faith must open its mouth and release words filled with life, truth, and authority. Even if your body feels weak, your spirit must speak strength. Even if your eyes see the pain, your mouth must declare the promise. Healing does not bow to feelings, it responds to faith. And faith responds by speaking. When you speak life, you align yourself with the power that brings restoration. The words you release are not ordinary. They carry the authority to command change. Healing is not passive, it is active. And the activity of faith begins with the tongue. Every declaration is a step toward the manifestation of wholeness. Healing requires faith that speaks, and when your faith refuses to stay silent, your body cannot remain the same. Beloved, when we reflect on the truth of healing, we see it is not distant, not uncertain, and not something we must earn. It is already secured, already provided, already paid for in full. Healing is not just for the body, but for the heart, the mind, and the spirit, restoring every broken piece until wholeness flows like a river through your life. And healing does not remain silent. It requires faith that speaks, words that rise above pain and declare strength, life, and victory. These truths remind us that healing is not a Sunday promise, but a present reality waiting for your faith to receive it. No matter the sickness, no matter the wound, no matter the battle, you are not forgotten and you are not forsaken. Healing belongs to you now, and as you walk in this truth, your life becomes a testimony of power, grace, and love that never fails. Let your heart believe, let your mouth declare, and let your spirit rise in confidence that wholeness is your portion. Thank you for receiving these words with an open heart. May peace, strength, and healing overflow in your life. God bless you abundantly.